NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing from Pocono Raceway on TNT is brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work. By FedEx. Every day is race day. By KFC's Fiery Buffalo Boneless Wings. It's no bones, all flavor, only at KFC. And by Diet Pepsi. Light, crisp, refreshing. Under caution, the 8's on pit road, along with about the back half of the field, Dave.
And he made it around Kevin LePage. That was the hardest part of the stop, was leaving his pit stall. 4 tires for Junior, wedge and track bar adjustment to help that race car. Marty.
Dave, this has just not been a good day for Casey Kane. His car is extremely tight. He said, quote, "It's horrible, guys. I don't know what to tell you to do." Up 2 rounds on the track bar trying to get it better. And then when he left, he took the track bar wrench with him. He stopped in time, though. They didn't pull it out. Bill.
Thanks, Marty. About the top 20 cars stayed out, including race leader Denny Hamlin. So it's Hamlin, Jeff Burton, Ryan Newman, Kevin Harvick, and Jeff Gordon. The top 5 at Pocono. Let's take a look at today's DLP Technology Race Recap. The guys on pit road fired up, ready to go after the opening ceremonies. 100,000 fans. Under sunny skies in Pocono, lap 25, Michael Waltrip gets tapped on a restart.
Into the wall he goes. Heavy, heavy contact. He's still on the racetrack. He's not very competitive.
Then the fun started. Tony Stewart
gets squeezed up. He gets mad. He gets into Boyer. Boyer gets into Carl Edwards. And he gets in trouble for it.
Tony Stewart, a 1-lap penalty. Black flag for aggressive driving. Kyle Petty into the wall hard.
And then the 99 car, Carl Edwards, tries to pay back. Tony Stewart gets into him as he enters pit road. NASCAR holds him for 1 lap.
And we're just back to green. Carl Edwards scored 42nd, 2 laps down. Tony Stewart has worked his way back onto the lead lap. Did not get a lucky dog. Was not eligible for it. He restarts 29th.
Burton's taking a look, but doesn't have enough there. A couple of these guys right there are a lap down in the mix.
Carl Edwards in the 99 being one of them. David String in 40 being another.
The first 18 cars did not pit, including Jeff Gordon, who had pitted back on lap 61. We'll have to see how that plays out for him.
Yeah, I don't quite understand. He'd run 15 laps, which is about 40%. About 40% of a pit, of a run. Dave, why didn't they pit?
Car running well, Benny, and a lot of guys up and down pit road were talking about having not reached the pit window yet. They wanted to go 6 or 7 more laps before they started making those decisions on how many more stops would we have to finish out this race. So they will probably have to come in around lap 93 or 94.
The thing is, don't you want to capitalize on a yellow like that?
The only advantage is that you don't get lapped when you pit here. That's the only advantage.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see how that strategy plays out.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And if they pit now, they obviously would have to go to the end of the line where they've got to race their way back through 25, 30 cars.
Well, actually, since where they were, Gordon probably would have come out about 19th. And all those cars that stopped still would have been behind him.
I guess he thinks fifth's a whole lot better than 19th.
It is until you need fuel. Gordon runs 5th. His teammate Jimmy Johnson, the championship leader, is 6th. Then it goes back to Kurt Busch, Brian Vickers, Jamie McMurray, and Mark Martin. More from Alan Bestwood.
Bill, talking about Jimmy Johnson, and you guys up in the tower had noticed a couple times in turn 1, his car would bottom out and be shooting up the racetrack a little bit. I talked with Chad Canals, his crew chief, under this caution when we had a quiet moment. He said, no big deal, just the roughness of the racetrack down there. He said, we have a top 5 car. We don't have anything for that 11 yet.
It's a big club that doesn't have anything for the 11 car.
Yeah, I guess there's, what, 41, 42 of them?
Ryan Newman in the 12. Kevin Harvick in the 29.
Battle for 3rd.
Yeah, you're on the straightaway now. That 12 chrome down.
Horsepower?
Lots of horsepower. That's your friend here at Pocono. These straightaways are so long. You come off a 3, you're kind of lugging it off the 3, and man, it's all motor down straightaway.
Matt?
Bill, what a run for Kevin Harvick in the 29 car. Now, he dropped back to 15th earlier in the race. He brushed the wall. They pulled that out in his first stop, and he is solid in the top 5, currently running 4th. His car neutral, just a tick on the tight side, but a very strong run for Harvick, who's never scored a top 5 here.
Thanks, Matt. You saw Kurt Busch pick up the position under Jimmy Johnson. And just behind this bunch, there are some guys that think you can race 3 wide at Pocono.
Well, they did a pretty good job on it.
They did. They did. They really did. Vickers runs back in 8th.
There we go. 2-3 wide. Robbie Gordon at 7 car trying to make it 3 wide.
And the big thing about back here is Tony Stewart is trying to negotiate his way through all of these. And even though he's been at the back of the pack for a number of laps, he has an extremely strong car, Dave.
And he did stop on this last caution. His car still wanted to push up toward the outside of the corners, all 3 of them. So they changed 4 tires, made a track bar adjustment, adjusted that chassis for Tony.
Following his teammate J.J. Yaley in the 18.
Big jump for Harvick as his 3.
And these have really changed a lot throughout the day. And with 117 to go, they'll change some more.
Hamlin has jumped up 3 spots from 12th to 9th with that terrific run he's had today. Wow. He's up to 36 points behind Jeff Gordon. And
Good
Stewart,
tight racing right there.
It's just terrific.
It's back for about the 19th, 18th position.
I saw Jimmy that Tony Stewart was only about 74 points out of 10. Well, as fast as his car is, it looks like he can race his way up to the 10th spot. Ooh, the 12th car backs off to let Gordon go, and he has no choice but let Kurt Busch go as well in the 2.
That's his teammate. 12 in the 2, both Penske cars. Here's Kurt under the 24. Busch on the move, Alan.
Yeah, getting this thing rolling. I talked with his crew chief, Roy McCauley, just as this restart went green, Bill. I asked him, they've been talking back and forth on the radio between Kurt and Roy about getting off earlier in the race. And I said, what were you talking about? The car's handling? He said, no, our pit strategy. On the lap 33 stop, when a bunch of guys didn't pit and a bunch of others took 2, they took 4. It cost them their track position. They've been trying to dig out of that hole ever since. Now up to 4.
See, Denny Hamlin did the same thing. He changed 4 tires, but his car is so fast, he was able to fight his way through all that traffic. If your car is just about average like Kurt Busch's is, it's a struggle to get back to the front.
Got around Gordon.
But he's got that track position in case the yellow does come out and erases that 5-second gap between him and Hamlin.
That's right.
Long way to go in this race.
Kurt Busch comes in off the wreck last week in New Hampshire. There's a 43 of Bobby Labonte and the 16th of Greg Biffle. This is back around 13th, Matt.
Bill, he started the day 66 points out of 8 in the championship standings, but it has been a struggle for Biffle today. Currently running 13th, like you mentioned. The water temperature had climbed to 250 degrees earlier. They took tape off the grill. Now he says he just cannot drive around other people. One point, he's almost wrecking. The car is so loose, and then it just goes super tight. Dave?
Matt, a good run for Bobby Labonte right in front of him. They've been mainly fighting a tight race car all day, like a lot of other people. Up off the corners before was his last complaint. They stayed out on the last caution. They'd like to make some more adjustments at the next opportunity, Bill.
Thanks, Dave. Denny Hamlin is the race leader, but listen to this. Tony Stewart restarted 29th on lap 80. He's gained at least 1 position each lap. Tony Stewart trying to work his way back to the front here in Pocono.